Hello, hello. So, this video, I have two Nyx builds. One is a health tank that I use for lich hunting, and if I just want to, not pay much attention to the game, which runs... Both of them actually run pacifying bolts, but this one also runs, just move that, assimilate, and we have fleeting expertise as well. And then sort of standard, you'll see this a lot in the future. Health conversion, arcane blessing, fractured blast, equilibrium. You know the drill. The focus of this build is we get good CC, very mobile CC as well from pacifying bolts, which is why I run it onto everything. Chaos to take pressure off us, because we're actually not running adaptation, because things ideally should not be shooting us. And I've kept assimilate up for emergencies, although you don't really need to use it. Where emergency means an acolyte spawn or something. But you will see there are ways of dealing with that particular problem. And yeah, that's honestly all I really have to say on that. The boar I showed off in the mag showcase. You can also run whatever you want. I've tried the strun too, and it's quite fun, but the boar, man, the boar. The boar. That's what I have to say about that. It's strong. If you haven't seen the mag video, you will see the boar in action here. I've chosen to run the Hystrix because it's quite a good kind of hybrid DPS primer, bubble popper. Does everything you want. So this is viral heat, and we'll swap it over to cold quills as well. You can see it has pretty decent puncture weighting as well, so cold and puncture on the same build, very nice. Secondary encumber, galvanized shot, sort of a standard pistol build, especially encumbered pistol builds. If you don't want to spend that much former and just want a primer, you can ditch... I'll show what I'm talking about. You can ditch the heat, galvanized shot, lethal torrent. Don't worry about ammo mutation. And I think that should cut the former requirements down quite significantly. But that's sort of what you'll be working towards. I've got my Sepfan Nakana Zor. So this is the 12x build. You can also do a 2x build if you really want. Because the Sepfan will quite happily just kill everything, regardless of how you build it, unless you're trying to scale it quite far. So I'll show the 2x build on the other build as well. So that's oops, pardon me. That's the tank build. And we'll go check out the shield gating build as well. So my other kind of blueprint survivability build, because that's usually what you care about on a Warframe, right? Kill with your weapons, survive with your frame. We're running pacifying bolts again, like I said. This time we're running Chaos Sphere, which has some quite cool properties that I'll try and show off. Particularly, when an acolyte spawns inside the Chaos Sphere, they will immediately be confused. And as long as you're, run away, they will preferentially cast their abilities onto other enemies nearby, due to the taunt effect. So magnetic malice will not be a problem, and violence will sometimes, not always, but sometimes, run off to attack an enemy. So you can keep some space and avoid the violent silence if for whatever reason you can't kill him before Magus Lockdown does the job. I do have some shards compensating, some red shards. If you do not have red shards and you don't want to run them, swap sprint boost for corrosive projection, and then your requirements for hitting full strip on psychic bolts will be the incredibly demanding 108%, or 106, I can never remember. So that can easily be compensated for, arcane consequences, just a quality of life thing, because I like to zoom around. Ditch that for Malt Augmented and you'll be good. That's honestly about it. There's not too much to say. Nyx is nice, she's very easy to build, very low requirements, very flexible, also very easy to farm at any time, due to the fact that she drops from Railjack. So, let's go see what Nyx can do. This is going to be quite a long video, so I will do up to an Acolyte in Annie, then I might go showcase her flexibility by doing my daily incursions. Because you can really just take Nyx on anything and have a very, very easy and comfortable time of it due to the flexibility of her toolkit in having CC and the incredible damage buff that is Pacifying Bolts. So I'll try and show off a bit of what Pacifying Bolts does for you.
Deserve your respect. Honor them with quick deaths, and I with your victory.
Life support has been cut off. They're trying to choke you out. Hold on. I'm sending auxiliary life support.
I know I showcase Exodia Contagion a lot, and you may not have it because it's a sort of a yearly event with Nabras. And Plaguestar, if it ever comes back. It may never come back at this point, it feels like, to be honest. I'd also suggest on this build, because it's running quite low strength, you may wish to consider bringing Lycat's Hunt instead.
Life support on the way. I've delivered a life support capsule to the area. Activating it will buy you more time.
I didn't wonder where all of the enemies are. I just don't want to spawn in. Oh, another nice property of this build. Due to the strength of the Taunt on Chaos, you can often redirect Eximus casts away from yourself. So, yeah, Eximus will preferentially, as long as you're not nearby. The way the Taunt works is a bit sort of inconsistent. But yeah, as long as you're not nearby, the Eximus will preferentially cast their abilities on their buddies. But I've also seen melee units just run straight past me to get to an enemy on the other side, so I genuinely have no idea what's going on.
Additional life support has arrived.
If you want a bit more health generation, I would recommend Panzer Volpifiler. Because with the amount of strength I'm running, I'm not really generating that many health orbs. So I'm a bit squishier than I would like, just at the start. Here we go. Don't mind me.
Off to a successful start. Extraction is available if you need it.
Probably show off the chaos interaction with acolytes during the shield getting demo. If you're not too impressed, don't worry. The Condemn build, I think, is much more performant. Because, yeah, man, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the difference with how easy mag is compared to this. But this is my build primarily for dealing with Lich and Sister hunts. And being brain dead. As why think when can not think? Yeah, right. It's probably the lack of adaptation doing that. I think I was just getting lazy. Yeah, because I notice I notice how much weaker I am without using Nyx's toolkit. So you can't be as lazy as the melee meathead mag, or several other tank builds that I have. So I guess, you know, she's not the laziest for him. Quite spammy, gotta keep things rolling, but God. Good old mobile defense. If I go puppies, it'll be a good opportunity to show off how much mobility she has. Arcane Consequence is definitely one of my favourite sort of fun arcanes, because you will see. You will learn the meaning of speed. Yeah, I think on Fractured Blast builds. So that Nyx build, if you cast your mind back, only runs...
Each enemy is more powerful than before. Only with true mastery of the Tenno arsenal will you succeed.
Yeah, that Nyx build runs 145 range and 125 strength. So the health generation isn't huge on it. I might go try swapping it over to Like It's Hunt. Whoop. There we go. That's Arcane Consequence. Love it.
I'm still detecting a lot of infestation activity. Let's clean it up.
See, Psychic Bolts is nice too. So where it says that it causes confusion, it's actually a stun. Just like, thanks guys. I love the game data just straight up lying to me. What are you doing there?
A juggernaut nearby. It will only attack when it senses high concentrations of infested blood. Slow the fight if you want it to go away.
Yeah, I wouldn't bring this build into... Ooh, too fast. I wouldn't bring this build into like infested survival, but for a mobile infested mission, it's quite handy because the Psychic Bolts just really... The infested have a bad day when you're bringing it.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. That did it. Here comes the juggernaut.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I don't really want to deal with the Juggernaut. Yeah, if you're running Condemn, you can do that. That's the last of it, I'm scanning that. Ah, there's the Juggernaut. Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and not deal with that particular problem. Bye. Too fast. Once again. Uh-oh, it's following me. Yeah, that Juggernaut has poison, so I don't really want to get into a slap fight with it. Drops like poisonous goop everywhere. Yeah, he sort of ignored me to go run off. It's just funny. Yeah, right. Nyx was kind of debuffed or bugged, unfortunately, with Xmas Reborn. So the other thing that's pacifying bolts and just sort of psychic bolts generally is meant to be able to do is turn off Xmas auras. But the way it works is Xmas need to not have any health, need to not have any shields and not have any overguard. So it just doesn't work anymore.
The enemy is broken.
Which is very unfortunate. Poor Nyx. No, she's already one of the bottom 5% by cumulative usage. They didn't have to do a dirty like that. Just very rude behavior. I guess if you wanted to bring Nyx against the Infested, you could take take this build and modify it for silence. Because that's my other sort of standard build. Essentially just a shield gating build, but with silence on it.
Operator? They are not as encrypted as they should be.
Ah, Cova Fortress mobile defense. Grab a drink, grab a beverage, get comfortable. We're going to be here for a while. I should say also this Condemn build is what I use for circuit if I get Nyx. Pacifying bolts just kind of trivializes having to deal with anything, really.
Underestimate them at your peril.
You may notice I'm a bit of a beam weapon enjoyer. Yeah, okay, so this is why I run Chaos Sphere, because you can just sort of drop it down, and then everything just sort of decides, whatever, don't want to deal with this problem. Goes off to run. Yeah, runs off to beat off. Dear God. Runs off to beat up their friends.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
Really, really challenging gameplay. Very, very demanding. I'm really sweating here. Don't know how I can keep up with the level of challenge that's being posed right now.
Still working on it. Continue to defend.
Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention. What is it, firewall? Did he just go away? Yeah, so mind control, you do have some pretty good targets for it. If you manage to pick up an energy leech, then the energy leech will actually regenerate your energy at a pretty decent rate.
Terminal hacked. Keep moving. I need access to a terminal. Find one and patch me in. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. Here is a terminal. Get me in and get ready to defend. I'm in, Tenno. This will take a moment.
Oh, also worth noting, I wouldn't recommend running this build with a Smater, just because we really need the Panzer for energy management due to the demands of Chaos. Chaos Sphere and running this high duration
Still working on
does really significantly help with energy economy, but even with that, it's quite demanding. Yeah, demanding. Like, the only difficult thing about this Nyx build is managing energy economy. Not getting too trigger happy on the Chaos cast.
The odds were against us, Tenno, but we did it. Mission complete.
Yeah, that was a bit of a bumpy ride, you know. Real sweat-inducing stuff.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
Too fast. Oh, no. Okay. Easy. Okay, with excavation, it does get a little bit bumpy sometimes, potentially. So, due to the way that Chaos works, if an enemy isn't nearby, so like if a Eximus or something wanders in, and there isn't anything else around it, it will go for the excavator. So you do have to watch your minimap a little bit, just to make sure an Eximus isn't coming for the excavator. But it still mostly goes pretty smooth. You know, if for some reason you don't want to run Frost or like Counterpulse Mag or what have you, then Nyx is there. Nyx will always be there for you. She's just very reliable. And you know, the Pasithia skin looks absolutely fantastic. Just objectively good, you know, totally unbiased here.
Each enemy is more powerful than before. Only with true mastery of the Tenno arsenal will you succeed.
I completely forgot, I'm back on a Condemn build. I don't need to use Lockdown anymore.
Excavator deployed. Protect the unit while it extracts the artifact. Excavator has run out of power. Find a cell.
Oh, Zaku. Neat. I'm barely needed now.
The scanner has picked up a target. Go to the dig site. We need another power cell for the excavator. Excavator is ready to go. Keep it powered and protect it from enemy fire. The excavator has lost power. Find another cell. The excavator has lost power. Find another cell.
Just throwing out psychic bolts and then everything dies. Oh, a Zephyr. Neat. Love to see it. I could do a demo of the Strum too. 'Cause I just redid it for Frostbite.
Extraction is available if you choose.
Don't mind the frame rate also, that's not the encoding, that is the switch. Switch problems.
Excavator deployed. Protect the unit while it extracts the artifact. An artifact has been located. Proceed to the dig site.
Zaku, where? Zaku is very far away. Guess I wanted more crowded.
Excavator destroyed. Protect the remaining dig sites.
Oh, because it just extracts everyone. Okay, they didn't particularly care about the steel essence. That sucks slightly. Rip. Oh well, these things happen. Yeah, let me go chuck on my Strun for the last run. Strun for the run.
Inbox messages await the operator. I wonder what they say.
Get a friend to run corrosive projection with you, and you don't actually need any power strength. Yeah, so I haven't actually tried. Like, I tested it in the simulacrum, but I haven't actually tried if
If I may say,
my frostbite strun here actually works.
suits you.
Pardon me. In a real mission. Yeah, so this is a frostbite build, running ton of corrosive, ton of cold, hunter memo for probably actually don't need that there, but it's there for emergencies, I guess. Honestly, swap that out for shotgun barrage or like or whatever takes your fancy. Yeah, because I don't really have much more former. Don't really want to lock that one in, to be honest. I guess that's just my flex slot waiting on getting a Riven, but I don't really bother with Rivens outside of yeah, I don't really bother with Rivens outside of Zors, kit guns, what have you. Oh yeah, Crossfire Exterminate. This'll be fun. Crowd clear with the Strun won't be quite as good as with the Boar, but it'll be decent. Because I'm sure most people have seen the Strun by now. And if nothing else, it looks cool too. Your screen doesn't fill up with numbers everywhere, but you get to shoot this just gigantic wall of death.
The art of combat must be practiced to truly master the canvas of war.
My intel suggests there are rich enemy supply caches in the area, but I am unable to pinpoint their exact location. Search them out if you are willing to shoulder the added risk. If they scan you, sentient fighters won't be far behind. The sentient is onto you. Look out for troopers.
I'm actually looking at my frostbite generation, and I'm reconsidering my decision here. I do have a viral electric slash build that usually serves me quite well. Yep. Yeah, with this level of enemy density, I think Frostbite isn't quite doing it.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
They're all the enemies. I ran too far away. It's like an entire side quest over here. What the hell? Oh, there we go. There they are. You joking? I'm simply too powerful. Yeah, terrible problem to have. That's my one complaint with the shotgun and cannons. It's like, if you're too strong, then you get weaker. God, what is happening with the director? They just don't want to spawn. They're all focused on the wisp.
There's a heavy unit approaching.
Yeah, because normally if you run too far away from like back spawns, the director will just spawn things in to stay on top of you. But I'm thinking, yeah, looking at this mess, I'm thinking we reached some sort of spawn cap. I had a little bit too much faith in the wisp.
The enemy is broken. Well done. Now get to extraction.
That was my bad. Kind of slowed that entire run down. But now I know the lower director
Clear. No detection.
is a little bit more reluctant to keep enemies spread out. Or it was the spawn cap, you know, one of the two. What was she running? Soma and Lex. Okay, and that's Nyx's. Stevie Nyx. Yeah. As always, if you made it to the end, drop a comment. Tell me what you think of Nyx. Don't tell me what you think of my Frostbite Strun, that was definitely a mistake. It's a little bit different than it is in the Simulacrum. But these things happen. It got the job done, it just wasn't as strong as it could have been. Yeah, toodles.